Norwegian Cruise Lines, they have made an itinerary change for an upcoming cruise, but it does bring up the question, is the reason they gave for the change actually the whole truth? Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. As experienced cruisers, we know itinerary changes can happen, and they can happen for all different kinds of reasons. It could be a weather-related reason. It could be the ship is having a mechanical issue, or it could be an issue with the cruise port preventing the cruise ship from going there. There's all kinds of reasons you can have an itinerary change. But have you ever had a cruise line change your itinerary over their carbon footprint? So the January 8th sailing of the Norwegian Getaway, well, she has had her itinerary changed. The port times in St. John and Aruba, they have been shortened. The port time in St. Thomas has been extended, and the cruise stop in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, it has been canceled altogether, so they're not going to be stopping there. And according to Norwegian Cruise Lines, it's to help reduce their carbon footprint. But is that really the whole story? Now, Norwegian Cruise Lines did send out an email to those passengers that are being affected on this sailing. Our company is committed to driving a positive impact on society and the environment. As part of our global sustainability program, Sail and Sustain, we are continually seeking opportunities to reduce our overall carbon footprint and recently committed to pursuing net zero greenhouse gas emissions across our operations and value chain by 2050. To support this mission, we have optimized our arrival and departure times. We appreciate your understanding and support of this important sustainability initiative. So Norwegians saying they want to reduce their carbon footprint, something they want done by 2050. And I understand environmental issues, I understand reducing the carbon footprint, but this is something that they want done by 2050, 27 years from now. And it kind of brings up the question, well, why is it this particular cruise? It's not a fleet-wide thing going on. They haven't made itinerary changes across the fleet to reduce their carbon footprint, which essentially means they're going to travel slower and be more fuel efficient. So maybe they're just testing it out here on the Norwegian Getaway, and that's why they're dropping the Dominican Republic. Now, if you remember earlier in 2022, the Norwegian Breakaway, well, she ran aground there in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic and had several cruises canceled after that due to the damage that was done to the ship. Now, since then, the port itself has been dredging the entry into where the cruise ships dock. And according to the cruise port, Norwegian Cruise Lines has been conducting safety studies to determine whether or not it was safe for their ships to continue going in and out of that particular port. Because obviously Norwegian does not want another situation where one of their ships goes aground. Now the Port Authority down there in the Dominican Republic, well, they released this information back on December the 26th. Taino Bay informs you that the schedule of ship arrivals to the ports is subject to change without exceptions. In this regard, we inform you that the Norwegian Cruise Line ships were not and are not confirmed for the month of December. Now, this is due to a series of studies and situations that the shipping company is performing to carry out successful operations, which will be at the beginning of the first quarter when they will be integrated into the calendar, bringing more cruise passengers to Puerto Plata. So according to the port, Norwegian has been down there doing studies to determine the safety of docking their cruise ships there. And that's completely understandable. Safety's got to come first. But it does bring up the question, did they skip that port over a safety issue because they're still determining whether or not it's safe or not to take the ships there? Or are they dropping that port altogether over a carbon footprint story? Or is it just a coincidence that these two things are happening at the same time? Now, me personally, I would think that if it was a safety issue, the cruise line would have been really smart to say, hey, it's a safety issue. That's why we can't stop there. A safety issue would be easier for passengers to accept and understand than, hey, we know you saved all year to take this cruise. We know you booked in advance. We know you've bought plane tickets. We know you've booked hotel rooms. But here at the end of December, we're going to let you know that your January 8th cruise has changed, and we're dropping a cruise port that you may have been really looking forward to going to and seeing because, well, we would need to reduce our carbon footprint. And that's just why we're not going there. Like I said, or versus, hey, it's a safety issue. We don't want the ship to run aground and get you guys stuck there like happened to the Breakaway. But what do you guys think? Is Norwegian's carbon footprint a believable story? Is it a more believable story that it's a safety issue, the reason why they're not going to the Dominican Republic? Is it just a coincidence that they've done that to this one particular cruise? Because like I said, it's not itinerary wide, it's just currently at least for this one cruise. And the safety studies in the Dominican Republic just happen to be going on at the same time. You guys let me know what you think. Is Norwegian telling the truth, or are they doing a little shady and maybe fibbing to their cruise passengers? All right, and that's going to be our cruise news video for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.